So today's Daf Mem Zayin, at its beginning, discusses the story of Elisha, who miraculously sweetened the waters of Yerichai. And the Gemara quotes the psukim from Sefer Malachim, describes the story, and it describes how the people of Yerichai initially come to Elisha complaining about the fact that their water is bitter and undrinkable, and points out that the men of the city start out by saying to Elisha, the city we live in is a great city. We love it. We like living here. But the only problem is, our water is undrinkable and the crops are not growing as a result. And the Gemara asks, hey, if their land if they're really in such dire straits, if their water is really so unusable, then what is good about the land they're living in? Why do they start off by talking about how great and beautiful their city is? And Rabbi Yochanan says this is indicative of a truth about human nature, and says Shlai Shchinas Hein. There are three types of Chen, literally translated as grace. In this context, a sort of bias, a tendency a person has to value the things that they own. And it says a person has a tendency to value the place that they live in. A husband, right, has the value to respect and love his wife. And someone who purchases an object, a certain person who buys something, has a tendency to value or even overvalue that which he owns. And so the Marsha explains that the reason for this is that all of these three things, right, the place that we live, the spouse, the person that we marry, and the things that we own are things that are ordained by heaven, right? A person has full range of free choice over his moral choices, but these things, financial and financial areas and areas of who our soulmate and where we're going to live, those are things that are ordained by heaven. And so God, therefore, designs us with a natural tendency to, desire and like those things that we have. Number one, to make us happy with them, and B, because the reason that a person is sent to a certain place at a certain time and is given certain things to own and marries a certain person is because those things, those people in that place is what he needs to fulfill his mission in the world. The Ben Yehoyada says that these three relationships between a person and the place they live, relationship between a person and their partner, and a relationship between a person and the thing that they own, are all used to describe us and Hashem, right? It says, Hashem says, V'arastich le'olam, I have betrothed you forever. Hashem, we're described as being married to Hashem. We also talk about how Hashem, or the Shekhinah, dwelling amongst the Jewish people, V'shachanti b'seichem, right? Hashem dwells amongst us. And also, the Jewish nation is described as being acquired by Hashem, right? Amzu kanisa, right? Hashem has acquired the Jewish people. And therefore, by saying Shlei Shchinas Hein, there are three areas where grace is endowed, indicates that there is love and grace and value placed in all of these three realms of our relationship between us and Hashem.